This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro Insight for the week of May 15, 2017. Something's building. Something's been building. Something is growing fiercer and stronger and begging to burst into being, burst out of confines, burst into a new form. This week brings the second of 3 scheduled meetings between the ruler of form and the ruler of the Lord of Order and the Lord of Chaos, Saturn and Uranus. These seemingly paradoxical, incompatible influences are teaming easily now, and they're having 2 very distinct effects. One of them is blowing apart systems of thought, philosophies, rules, tossing a Molotov cocktail into the way we have viewed the world, or our moral compass, or our concepts of integrity, or maybe tossing a lightning bolt into those so that we look at them differently, or our perspectives break open to different possibilities. Or maybe just blowing up the established order in some way. And the second extreme, the second possibility is pulling into being, into structure, into form, into solidness, into commitment. An energy, a development, a life force, a project, a something fiery and passionate that has been building and now bursts out and becomes more real, more tangible, more solid. So if you've been feeling that perhaps the alien was going to burst out of your chest, well, theoretically that's possible, but likely this week is going to bring something a lot less terrifying and disruptive or destructive, on a personal level at least. Let's put this in context. Saturn and Uranus have been traveling all year in this relationship. It actually started in December, and it peaked for the first time on Christmas Eve. And their contact, their trine, becomes exact again on the 19th. So whatever is coming out now is taking new form, taking new shape, becoming real and tangible, being blown to smithereen. Whatever you are experiencing is something that has been in process all year long. And on the positive end, whatever you're experiencing, you're now able to do because of all of the changes and the disruptions and the restructuring that your life went through between 2012 and 2015. This is the moment of the protracted moment of taking off, of flying forward, of getting our little jet packs that we were promised in the 1939 World's Fair. I know I say this a lot. I love it. It is a very apt metaphor. We're taking off into our own individual paths. And stuff that doesn't fit that anymore gets blown up. And the stuff that is in alignment with that or is building within us because it's really our own nature and what we need to do, that is coming to the fore. This got amped up with the lunar eclipse in Leo at the beginning of February, and it's going to get fuel injection multiple times over the next few months, especially in August and September, when the solar eclipse and then Mars and Venus link into this configuration before it comes to its final exact trine in November. So whatever is going on for you this week is a stage. It's a plateau, but it's not one that you can get stuck on. It has an energizing, revitalizing vibe to it. It's kind of like a booster rocket taking off or eating a whole bunch of Popeye's spinach. And in a very real sense, what's building, what's now hitting the next big stage is something we've wanted. It's something we've been working toward. It's something that is the payoff for all of the turmoil that we've been through in the last number of years. Because again, it's something that we're now able to do that we couldn't before. But since circumstances and stuff in our minds, patterns, beliefs, whatever, have been cleared out, now we're zooming ahead. This middle stage could have a very pronounced element of illumination, of epiphany, of your beliefs taking a huge hit or opening up or liberating you in some way so that this gigantic energy, this life force is freed up for you to go and express yourself and go pursue your own path, taking responsibility for claiming, embracing your own raw, true self. And as you blast off in your little jetpack, you will notice you're not alone. There are people who are doing the same thing, who are heading in a compatible direction to yours, who are simpatico with you. Your little clusters will be zooming forward from this. Now, interestingly, while this fiery ramping up is going on, Mercury, the planet that rules our minds, how we take in and process information, how we communicate, the information streams we have, and how we get around, our means of transportation, our modes and vehicles of transportation. Mercury is moving into a sign that is a decided gear shift down. Mercury is returning to the sign of Taurus. He's almost out of the shadow of his retrograde. And when the winged messenger comes down to Earth in Taurus, he's not as quick, he's not as nimble, he's more inclined to plod a bit. So while this controlled firepower is erupting in us and all around us, we're not losing sight of the ground. Our minds, the messages we get, the way we communicate, all of these hang on to a very practical tone. Concrete, practical, step by step, slow and steady. So even though the booster rockets are firing and we want to just blast into the stratosphere, there is a significant element keeping us landlocked, keeping us feet on the ground, and possibly even taking the time to ruminate, to chew things over, to mull things over. Another paradox. We'll have an interesting vantage point on relationships and our attitudes about money and what we value, particularly about ourselves, during this paradoxical week. We may not yet be able to quite connect in relationships. We may see something that we can't quite reach, but the distance gives us space and time of evaluation, and delayed gratification can also build the desire. And as we roll out of the weekend, the sun moves into Gemini, which wants to flit here and there. Let's be lighthearted. Let's just get moving, adding to the paradox with the ruler of Gemini, Mercury, being in slow and steady Taurus. Bottom line, we're in for quite the adventure, but we're not likely to go flying off into the stratosphere, at least entirely. Some portion of us will remain here on planet Earth, thinking about, confronting, dealing with the concrete and the practical. The homing thought of the week is a quote by Oscar Wilde: "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken." The song of the week, "Jump Into the Fire" by Harry Nilsson. You can add any other fire song you want. Feel free to put your suggestions in the comment boxes on the Empowerment Unlimited Facebook page. And the image of the week is Benjamin Franklin flying a kite attached to a key and harnessing lightning. You'll find more information in my forecast for May, which is posted at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my weekly mailing list and book a session with me. Talk to you next week.